Welcome to part 3 of our interior walkthrough for the Jayco Home Away from Home Triple Bunk Caravan. This is the master suite. Sits up the front of the van with your north-south bed that people tend to like because you can get down both sides of it rather than the east-west bed where you're always crawling across the other person's bed to get into it. The van comes with some generous cupboards on each side. You've got hanging space for several hangers up there, as well as a nook here which has a power point with a USB outlet so you can charge your phone, and that's accessible from the bed space through that little opening there. We've also got a drawer on each side, socks and bits and pieces. We've got a lamp that operates much the same as the lamps do in the kids' beds. Single press is on with a blue light, double or hold down is the white light, and then press again to turn off. Overhead cupboards, that's the tow mirrors that we offer as an option if you don't have tow mirrors fixed to your car. And then on this side we have a block throw, croquet set and a badminton set that we send out with the van. We've got a master off switch over here and light switches that control the lights down this end of the van, as well as being able to turn all the van lights off from that switch as well. Cupboards on this side are the same. Also got another little cupboard down here for storage, and we have a couple of trestle tables that go out with the van that they just live in that corner there when they're not in use. So up behind the van there's a window that does actually open out. That's under the front cover screen. I'll run through the operation of the front cover screen in another video, but the windows themselves all pretty much operate on the same basis. Essentially, you've got these little latches and they just twist across like so. There's 5 on this window. And then once you've opened them all, you push the window out, opens out on a gas strut, and it'll hold in place and let some fresh air through the van. Got old Rocky Dog out there supervising. So then you bring it back in, and there's actually 2 positions that this can latch into. The first position is that one, and that's latched in where the window's shut, but it's not actually closed. You can see, I can get my finger out through there, and it'll still allow a little bit of airflow into the van. The second position is closed tight, where the window's actually sealing back against the window seal. And you can use either position when you're in camp. I quite like it being slightly cracked because you get a little bit of airflow through without the chance of too much in the way of breeze and wind coming through. And you can see here that window's just slightly open. Now that's all right while you're at camp, but you really do want to make sure that's shut when you're going to go tow the van, because otherwise you go down a dusty dirt road and the van will fill up with dust, and you'll spend 3 or 4 days trying to clean all the dust out of the van at the back end of your trip, or we'll have to do it for you and charge you for it. So it's very important to make sure the window's securely shut before you take off. This is a shutter similar to the one that was in the bunks that I showed you in the part 1 of the interior video earlier. It just goes up, latches at the top, that gives you block out inside the van for your night time. And then if you bring that down, it's actually come down with the fly screen. And if you want to detach the fly screen, there's a catch on this side and a catch on this side. You just let them both go, the fly screen shoots up. If you want to reattach them again, you just click them back in, drop them back down, and the fly screen's there again. And it will actually latch at roughly 1/3 positions up and down, just to allow you a different level of block out. We've got our Skylight up here, same as the Skylight down the other end of the van, with its own fly screen and sunshade. It locks in 3 positions. It's got this little groove here, which you can shift it into that position, shift it into that position, or you can bring it right home to close and lock it in position there. It's got a warning notice up here that says the vent must remain permanently open, clean and unrestricted to provide ventilation when the gas appliances are in use. So all that is recommended that you open it to at least to that position, if not to that position, just to allow some airflow in here while you're cooking and for the fumes from the gas appliances to escape. And that's mainly the stove and the oven while you're cooking. The hot water system is gas, but it flues to outside of the van, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Okie dokie. So this is the front caravan master bed. As pictured, is without the linen option. So we do provide mattress protector, fitted sheet, pillow protectors, pillow slips, and those feature pillows there. The full linen option will have us provide doonas and doona covers, as well as bath towels for your stay, for the master bed and for the bunks. We also then include some flat sheets as well. So that's handy if you're travelling in from interstate, but it's by no means mandatory. If you'd like, you're more than welcome just to lift your own bedding off your own beds and pop it on top of what's here, and you can make use of the sheets that are here, and at the end of the trip we'll get all of our stuff washed, and your stuff can just go back into your house at the end of the trip. Okay, there's a storage area under this bed. The equipment that's stored within is covered in detail in the equipment list, but it just lifts up, and under here we've got the hitch lock, the fixing kit for the awning stays, all the awning tie down equipment. We've got a little Stanley toolkit, a 5-litre water chuck, a ground sheet. We've got a Zito impact driver, which is handy for stabilizers up and down and driving the hex pegs in for the awning. We've also got a 12-volt battery, 12 Kings 12-volt battery jump starter in there, just in case you have a flat battery along the way. We've got a fold-out hamper, which is handy for doing the clothes runs down to get the washing done. We've got 5 fold-out camp chairs in here, as well as a couple of Lilo chairs for the beach. This silver thing is the shade screen for the main awning, and the green shade cloth is the ground mat for under the awning. We've got a 20-litre white plastic bucket. We've also got a battery box here with the 100 amp hour AGM battery inside, and down the back there is the control unit for the projector smart system. We've got a couple of big plastic tubs here as well, which are handy for setting up outside for putting rubbish bags in and collecting the rubbish. Beyond that, the last thing to really explain is the light switching within the van. So the lights are these little switches. You can see they're working when they flash orange when you press them. This panel is the interior lights, with the exception that some of the lights are controlled from that light switch over there. A couple of them are controlled from that light switch there, and a couple of them are controlled from this light switch down here, with the exception that this light up here is a touch light. Operates different to the rest of the ones in the van, and the little Sirocco lights on the bunks all work off their own individual buttons. So there is a master off. This panel up here activates the lights outside the van, and if you find for some reason the light switches aren't working, you'll notice that it's not working because the lights won't go on and off, but also you're not getting the little orange flash when you press the button, and you're not hearing a click in the control unit. These aren't actually wired light switches, they're actually remote controls, and they pop off quite easily. And in the back here, you've got a little compartment, and in that sits a couple of button batteries. And we do have some spares. They live up in the cupboard up here, in a little sandwich bag, and I generally keep half a dozen spares in there just in case you have a flat battery. You can just change those out. You don't need to reconnect it or anything. It's just simply a case of changing it out and then picking it back up and popping it back on the wall, get it up the right way, and click it on, and you're back away again. The other issue that may be if the lights aren't working might not be the battery. It may be that you just haven't turned the power controller on. If that's off, light switches won't work because it's all on a 12-volt system. And that's it in a nutshell. That's the interior walkthrough. If there's anything else you would like covered, I might just mention the housekeeping tips. These are just the general house cleaning tips for the Jayco Caravan. It's just to help keep the caravan tidy and ready for everyone to enjoy. Please spot clean as you go. We ask that you wipe down the benches, the fridge, the stove, the oven, the microwave after use. Tidy the floors. use the vacuum that we've provided. There's also a broom and a dustpan to keep the sand and dirt under control. We've got a Swiffer mop in the front tunnel boot as well, and a squirty bottle with some water in it, so you can give it a mop out and sort of keep the grit that inevitably gets tracked in. The drains on the van are very small tubes, so just be a bit drain smart. Don't put food or oil or other items down the sink because it causes blockages and slow draining drains, which will be a bit of a pain. For the return, cleaning products available for washing dishes, utensils. Please put the items back in their correct place. We just ask that the van gets delivered back to us in roughly the same condition it came out, with all the surfaces that have been used and gained fingerprints and that during the course of your stay wiped over. It's just a soft sponge with water. It's not a deep clean. And then at the back end of the trip, the general suggestion is remove all the rubbish and all of your own items. Just do a general check around, make sure you haven't left anything behind, and yeah, general check for cleanliness, just to make sure it's left the way that it was when it was handed over, and that everything's back in its original location. If you're struggling to remember where things go, the equipment list spells out in detail where everything was stored, and a copy of that is included in this caravan manual up here that we always provide. So that's about it. That's everything that I thought I'd cover in the internal walkthrough. If you've got any other queries at all, please put a comment below or shoot us a message through the Camplify messaging app or via text, and we'd be happy to help you out. Thank you.